Howdy folks, so I decided to take you on a little bit of a drive through West Vancouver, just down Marine Drive all the way to Horseshoe Bay from Park Royale. So you get a little bit of an experience of what Vancouver is like. And I'm not going to lie to you, when I started off this morning, it was a beautiful sunny day, and that's the reason I planned on doing it. But then again, in the time it took me to get the cameras ready and everything, it turned into a very cloudy day. But I suppose it is what it is, because I suppose you need to experience Vancouver the way Vancouver is, and the fact of the matter is that it rains a lot. Alright, so we are now coming down Taylor Way from the highway up to Park Royale Shopping Centre. This is Marine Drive right here in front of me, and I see there's a fire engine up front, so there's obviously been something going on. But anyway, so this is kind of just after the start of West Vancouver. There's a little bit more. West Vancouver starts a little bit over onto that side, but this really is where it mainly starts. We've got the Capilano River just going down on the side over there, and we've got Park Royale North and Park Royale South over here. So interesting fact, Park Royale is the oldest enclosed shopping centre in Canada. The original Park Royale shopping centre in West Vancouver was built in 1950, which is interesting. As far as West Vancouver goes, so this is kind of the busy side of West Vancouver, and really West Vancouver works as you go from this side to the far side. The houses become more expensive, the land becomes bigger, and the place becomes more relaxed and more chilled. Park Royale is like the hub where everything happens, and then then it goes to the more beautiful, more chill places out there on the other side. So that's actually really cool. So anyway, this robot, or traffic light as they call it over here, it's a robot in South Africa, takes forever to change. Well, we should be getting going right now. Park Royale is actually a really nice shopping centre. So living in West Vancouver, we are right up on the hill, Sentinel Hill, just above Park Royale. So it's nice and close to this area. You know, sometimes the kids walk, although it's a very steep hill, so they don't enjoy that. But Park Royale has got everything. It's a really nice shopping centre, lots of clothing stores, some restaurants, food. This is also where our liquor store is, BC Liquors. There's everything you need. Whole Foods, not that we buy at Whole Foods often, it's a very expensive place. We normally shop at City Market, which is over there on the right. A really nice area. We almost lived in one of these apartments, or these apartments up front, the 3 blocks, the Park Royale blocks. There was one of the penthouses on top was available when we were looking for a place to stay, to rent, and it was $4,000 a month for the little penthouse up there. It was just very small and very high up. One thing is, it is now cherry blossom season. So if you can see on the right over there, we've got the cherry blossoms already coming out. At Park Royale, we've got the lighter pink ones over here, and then the stronger pink ones out there in Stanley Park. But this is Park Royale on the left and on the right. It's really, really nice shopping centre. It's got everything that we could possibly want. So I suppose I would say that it is our main place that we come shopping. They are building on the other side, so they made it a little bit harder for us to come here, because there was always a nice on-ramp onto Taylor Way that took us straight home, but now we always have to drive around this way. On the left here is Ambleside Park, or Ambleside Beaches. Ambleside Beach is further down on the left, and then you've got there's a lot of sports grounds and stuff, hockey grounds and soccer grounds, and it's a big recreational area. Really nice area, I must say. It's definitely we come out here to the beach often. There's a little beach walk or sea walk that's about I don't know, 1.7, 2 kilometers long, running from the beaches on this side. You can walk all the way up to Dundarave Beach, which is great. There's, yeah, very, very nice area. So this is Ambleside. We are entering Ambleside by the sea. On the left here is some of the most expensive real estate apartments in Vancouver. These Ambleside beach apartments up there. We've got our service station. So Ambleside is kind of the second busiest part of West Vancouver, just after Park Royale. Now, West Vancouver is also more than just this road that I'm taking you. I'm taking you now from east to west on Marine Drive. West Vancouver also has the mountain, up on the mountain, British properties. There's some really cool places out there which we will take a different drive. So West Vancouver is kind of everything but ordinary. It is the most expensive neighborhood in the whole of Canada, actually, as far as rentals goes, as far as property goes. So here's a lot of shops. We've got a lot of restaurants. We've got some money exchanges. Another BC Liquor. Ambleside is a nice little village, but it's a kind of a busier place. It's very, yeah. This is our Esso, our favorite service station or fuel station that we put in, because we got an Esso a card points scheme. So it works with the, Shoppers Drug Mart points scheme. So Optimum. So we always put in fuel there because, you get like a bunch of points. Those points are actually work really well, because when you get to the end of the year, Belinda always buys like a whole bunch of Christmas presents for Angelique using all our points, because at Shoppers is all the makeups and all those stuff. All right, so this is still Ambleside. We've got a Fresh Street Market on the side over here. This is our local RBC bank. This is where I bank. There's a lot going on. It's a busy little area. But just one road down on that side is the road that runs next to the ocean, and there's where all the beaches are. That's like, it's just one big beach park, really. So you go from Ambleside Beach, you can walk all the way along this ocean, right up to Dundarave, really, and it's a nice area. We often go down there. I think just straight down here is John Lawson Beach, where we often do get-togethers or braais, or we just go and sit there for the day in our little gazebo and enjoy the beach. It's a beautiful place. And we are about to leave Ambleside now. Still lots of, I haven't actually been to any of these shops often. There's a clinic, there's a walk-in medical center, which is a great thing. Memorial Park is a beautiful park. There's a lot of parks. I think over 70% of West Vancouver doesn't have buildings on it. So you've got parks and forests and stuff. It is absolutely a stunning part of Canada. You got the mountains, there's a lot going on over here. Hollyburn House, retirement living. And on the right over here is the West Vancouver Recreation Centre and the West Vancouver Old Age Recreation Centre, I think they call it. What's it? West Van Seniors Activity Centre. It's obviously election in Canada soon. But anyway, so this is the rec centre, an absolutely stunning, beautiful, big rec centre with literally everything there. Big swimming pools, gym, lots of events going on. Nice, cool place. There's also a lot of kind of retirement. I believe these apartments on the right here is kind of a retirement apartments. And occasionally I've been to one of these days where they had like the old cars. A lot of these oaks living here have got old classic cars, so they had a exhibition of their classic cars. Alright, so now we're kind of leaving the busier area and we're heading down into Dundarave coming up, which is you know, a little bit more rustic and relaxed, more smaller village, which is also something that I really enjoyed about Dundarave. You've got everything there. Our medical centre that we go to is in Dundarave, our dentist is in Dundarave, all of these houses over here, there's some really cool places. Yeah, but like I said, West Vancouver is by far the most expensive neighborhood in Canada, apparently. And here we go, Dundarave Village. Oh, one other interesting thing is the streets in West Vancouver is numbered, so it runs. We're now on 24th, we're going to 25th, then 26th. Up to a point it works like that, and then it just goes nuts. Anyway, so this is Dundarave Village, a little bit more quaint and interesting. You know, a couple of antique stores and a dry cleaner and a different bottle store, and we've got the IGA over here, which if you ever come and live anywhere in Vancouver, IGA is one of the most expensive grocery stores. They got some good veg and fruit and veg, but yeah, you can get everything that you can get there much cheaper at City Market, for instance. It's just weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just closer to people and that's why they shop at IGA. Alright, let me just go around this guy. And now we kind of finished with all the shopping areas. From here on in, this is just houses and housing and some of the main big houses. There's a lot of houses up for sale in this area. This is not the ocean line, so there's still another road down where we get into the homes that are ocean facing. So we're probably about 300-400 meters from the ocean on the left over here. And yeah, what I was saying is there's a whole bunch of houses that are up for sale. It's interesting. The market, I don't know, the interest rates are going down and people are offloading, I guess. But that is what it is. So as you can see, a cycle path down here. People have got some cool things like a little train there in front of that house. This is where West Vancouver really comes into its own. Well, Marine Drive for a start, because this is where you start going into the expensive houses. You got the church on that side. West Vancouver. It's like living in a forest. You know, I come from South Africa and I lived in Joburg, and they always said Joburg was the largest man-made forest in the world, which I can believe, but this is just a forest. You're just living in a forest. I mean, there's some absolutely stunning homes up here. It's just amazing. Check it out. We used to drive up here because we lived up in Caulfield. Some of these places have got like huge land, and there's very different styles of homes, and you've got some older ones and some newer ones. We used to have to go up here to go get home. And this is also a bus route. Marine Drive is a bus route, so there's definitely access. The buses coming out this far doesn't run that often. I think it's only once every hour or so, but still, you need a bus, you can get a bus. So I don't know if you saw there, just at the back there was some stuffed furniture sitting on the side, That's one thing that is always weird for me here in Vancouver or in Canada, is when people are done with their furniture or they don't want it, they just put it out on the pavement and people come by and pick it up for free. It's an interesting thing. Okay, oh, some more cherry blossoms. This is the beautiful area. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get us some extra facts on ChatGPT, on West Vancouver. Let's hear what ChatGPT has to say. Hello there. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, and you?
I'm doing great, thanks. What's up?
Okay, so I'm on a little drive down Marine Drive on West Vancouver, and I'm shooting a video, just kind of, you know, showing people what it's like to live in West Vancouver, or what it looks like when you're driving down Marine Drive. Can you give us some interesting facts about West Vancouver?
Absolutely. West Vancouver is known for its stunning views of the ocean and mountains. It's home to the famous Capilano Suspension Bridge and Cypress Provincial Park, which was a Winter Olympics. Plus, it's one of the wealthiest municipalities in Canada, with gorgeous homes and exclusive neighborhoods. Have you got any specific spots you're focusing on?
Well, I'm driving down Marine Drive. So I'm next to the ocean right now on Marine Drive, and I just want to, the western side, more towards Horseshoe Bay. Is there any interesting facts about that?
Horseshoe Bay is a charming seaside village at the western tip of West Vancouver. It's the gateway to Howe Sound and a major ferry terminal for routes to Vancouver Island, Bowen Island, and the Sunshine Coast. There's also White Cliff Park nearby, which is great for scuba diving and spotting marine life. Plus, the scenic views are amazing for a video.
Oh yeah, that I can say. This is also such a nice drive, Marine Drive here, the back end of Marine Drive. It's like, wow, you've got all these big beautiful houses. We got the ocean on the left. I wonder what these houses go for. Ocean view houses. Do you have any idea?
Oh, those ocean view homes in West Van can be pretty pricey. They often range from a few $1 million to upwards of $10 million, especially if they have panoramic views and modern amenities. It's a prime location, so real estate prices are quite high. The views and lifestyle definitely add to the appeal.
So if you had to summarize the lifestyle in West Vancouver, how would you describe it?
I'd say it's a mix of luxury, outdoor adventure, and laid-back coastal vibes. Residents enjoy stunning natural beauty with easy access to beaches, parks, and mountains. The community is affluent with top-notch amenities, great schools, and a relaxed, family-friendly atmosphere. It's perfect for anyone who loves a blend of nature and upscale living.
Excellent, excellent. And how much of West Vancouver is actually parks and open space? Do you know?
West Vancouver has a lot of green space. There are over 140 parks, ranging from smaller neighborhood parks to large ones like Lighthouse Park and Cypress Provincial Park. These parks offer everything from hiking trails to beaches and picnic areas. So a significant portion of the area is dedicated to open, natural spaces, perfect for outdoor enthusiasts.
Okay, well that's really cool. And what can you tell me about the cherry blossoms? Because cherry blossom time in Canada or in Vancouver is always like, it's so beautiful and it's all pink, but I've heard that those actually don't make actual cherries. It's just the cherry flowers.
Exactly. The cherry blossoms in Vancouver are mostly ornamental varieties, so they don't produce fruit. They were gifted by Japan and have become a huge part of the city's springtime charm. There's even a cherry blossom festival every year. The pink and white blooms create a magical atmosphere throughout the city, and it's a favorite time for locals and visitors alike. Have you caught them on camera?
I've caught a few of them, yeah. It's like, it's a bit of a cloudy day, so it's not nice and sunny today, but yeah. Oh wow, person on a bicycle. The roads are so narrow out here when you go further down Marine Drive. It becomes like tiny little roads. And up in the other end of West Vancouver to the eastern side, the roads are more like a grid. But down here on the western side of West Vancouver, it's not very grid-like, is it? Oh no, it looks like we lost the connection. One thing about the
Address to him.
One thing about West Vancouver is that the cell phone connections are not always great. Anyway, so there we got some facts from ChatGPT about West Vancouver. So you see, this is now the top end of West Vancouver. I mean, I look at some of these driveways and some of these homes and I'm like, oh my. While I reckon it must be beautiful to have the views and everything, these driveways, some of them are just nuts. And there's a bunch of schools everywhere. A lot of people obviously putting their election and voting things out. Canada is currently, it's March 2025, 30th of March 2025. So you see a lot of Canadian flags out. And the reason for that is because of the tariffs that America is imposing. So there's a whole lot of Canadian patriotism flying around. And here's a couple of more stores. Here's the Fire Brigade, West Van Fire Brigade. And there's a couple of shops here, but not much. Oh, look at this little house here on the left. So there's a lot of ultra modern houses and then a lot of really old houses. Some of them chiseled out of the rock, like the one in the front here. We've got Lighthouse Park on the left, which is a beautiful park. You just pop in there and then you'll see a lot of these homes. They basically just back up onto open spaces, onto parks or forests or yeah. So that's actually really, really cool. Let me just get my map open so I can see where I'm going. Here we go, right. Yeah, so this is living in West Vancouver is really fun, I must say. It's not, if you are a party animal and you want to go out every day to restaurants and do things like that, or, you know, I've spoken to some youngsters and they go, oh, we don't like living in West Vancouver because it's way too quiet. But if you are not a party animal, I love the whole relaxed atmosphere in West Van. It's just, it's really nice. You know, you're away from the hustle and bustle of the city. We don't have a lot of issues or a lot of crime, although it does occasionally still happen. You have people crossing the bridge and coming over and on the buses and around Park Royal or those areas, you will have some of the vagrants come and scavenge, which is a thing that's been happening lately. Just unfortunate, but it is what it is. A lot of people have started neighborhood watches and things like that now, and you know, just keep your eyes open and keep your neighbors safe. Of course, a lot of these homes are going to get broken down now. What Canada did is or Vancouver, or BC, was it BC? Yeah. They actually said that there's a lot of rules in place. What do they call it? NIMBYism, not in my backyard. So West Vancouver, throughout the years, have been very, very strict on what you're allowed to build. You know, you've got these big old stands over here. Oh, look at the people working in their gardens on this beautiful day. Anyway, so you've got these big old stands over here with these beautiful views and the forest and everything, and people like it like that. So they had very strict rules. You weren't allowed to redevelop and build more properties. You can build a newer property, but there were rules and regulations that you needed to adhere to. But anyway, so lately or last year, the BC government came out with a rule that said from now on, any piece of land that's only got for a single family home, that's only approved for a single family home, the municipalities need to now make it so that you can build up to 4 units on a single family home lot, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to alleviate the housing pressure. And you know, that West Vancouver obviously fought it, but they lost the case. And now you can basically buy one of these houses over here and break it down and build 4 new properties. So we haven't seen a lot of that happening just yet, because one thing they do still do is they keep the permitting very tight over here, and it takes forever to get your permit. When we moved to Canada, when we moved into Caulfield initially, we rented a house from people that they wanted to redevelop the house, and they said we can only rent it for 6 months. So it was just a very temporary thing. In the end, we ended up staying 17 months in the home because they couldn't get their permits approved. And by the time we got there, there was already a lot of permits out there. See, there in the back was another bunch of free stuff on the side of the road. Oh, and this is the marina area. There's like a little yacht club or something over here. Eagle Creek. I mean, look at this. There's the highway up there. That's what you see up there, that concrete wall. So we've got the Eagle Creek Marina. There's a couple of restaurants. I mean, now we're going into the serious West Vancouver vibe. Stunning. Anyway, so yeah, they were busy. Another for sale. They now lost the case, so the rule has been approved. People can now tear down these houses and build up to 4 units on a piece of land. Now, a lot of these the land is big, so yeah, I've got a feeling that a lot of that is going to start happening very soon. I mean, West Vancouver is one of the places where people will break down somebody would buy a $5 or $6 million home, demolish it, and build a $15 million home. Some of these places are just absolutely nuts. I mean, there are houses up here that are 10, 20, 30 million dollars. But then again, I mean, look at the views that you get from some of these places. I get that it would be cool to live here. And think about the guys just down here. These are actual seaside homes. And they're the ones with the driveways that you don't necessarily want to drive down. And then you've got the little islands over there that's got houses on them. So this is still Marine Drive. You can see clearly very different from the Marine Drive where we were at earlier at Park Royale. Okay, we are basically coming up towards Horseshoe Bay now, which is on the far west end of West Vancouver. It's we've got the Glen Eagles golf course coming up on the left over here. Horseshoe Bay is also a very nice little village to live in. Very small town, very kind of away from everything. It does have the ferries though, and sometimes those ferry horns can be a little bit harsh, but also a beautiful, beautiful place. Here's the Glen Eagles golf course on the left. There's the Glen Eagles Community Centre in front. It's a nice area. One thing about living in West Vancouver is, you know, it's expensive. It's like the rentals over here, 3-bedroom homes, 4-bedroom homes, you're talking about $6,000-$7,000 a month. Unless you're lucky, there are still some cheaper ones. Here's the Glen Eagles Fire Station. Nice and modern. There are still some cheaper ones, especially if you get one of the older ones. We once again living in a house that the guy bought to demolish and build a much fancier house, and lucky for us he couldn't do it because of the interest rates and everything, and he decided that it's not viable to do it at this stage. So we're managing to live in this house at a much reduced rent, which is great. Here's a school on the left. Some really nice schools in this area too. And this is the way down to Horseshoe Bay Village. So maybe let's take a drive down there before we head on back up Marine Drive. And I can show you the view in the other direction. So Horseshoe Bay is really just a big hub for the ferries, because you catch the ferries to Victoria, to the Sunshine Coast, to Bowen Island. Everything comes from Horseshoe Bay. And it's a very nice little village. So let's just hop down here. But look at the outdoor lifestyle. People walking with their dogs and bicycles, and everybody's just chilling. And there's the ferry terminal down there at the bottom. It's like, I enjoy living in West Vancouver, or yeah, I definitely do. West Vancouver is really a cool area, especially if you love the outdoors and especially if you like nature. It's undoubtedly, it's a nice area. If you don't like those things, then, it might not be ideal for you. Might get a little bit boring sometimes. All right, so now we're entering Horseshoe Village. And check it out. Horseshoe Bay, actually, not Horseshoe Village. Horseshoe Bay Village. There's not a lot here. You've got a couple of food shops. You got the Subway, Chinese and Western cuisine, people crossing the road, a little convenience store, pet grooming store, Starbucks, and the ferry terminal on the right over there. Another marina. Jeez, it's busy out here in Horseshoe. Everybody's out for the day. Everybody else also saw the sun this morning and went like, oh, spring is here, let's do it. And, and then also just decided to carry on going. Quite a few restaurants on the left here and pubs. So definitely something nice to do. There's a nice little donut shop on the right over there in front, and those fancy new apartments that they've recently finished. I think those things only finished last year. Anyway, all right, so now we are heading back up Marine Drive. There we go. You shouldn't be in a rush when you're taking this drive on a Sunday. This is, chill time. Sure, this person is trying to fit into a small space there. She got it. Anyway, I've definitely seen a significant uptick in homes for sale over the last month. But then again, I guess springtime is one of the times where people put their homes up for sale in springtime. It is apparently one of the busier times of the year. There's been a bit of a downturn in property prices over the last, since last year. The property prices have come down, not significantly, but it has been coming down slightly. And even rentals have been coming down. I think it's just that it got a little bit out of hand after COVID, and it's starting to normalize a little bit. There's obviously these rumors of big property crashes coming, but I don't know. Canada has always been pretty solid when it comes on property. And it's ridiculous that the properties in Canada is so much more expensive than in the US, which is right next to us. That's a little bit weird. Just to give you an indication, we had a house in Florida, in Tampa, in a really nice neighborhood. And what are you doing over here, hon? In a really nice neighborhood. It was a 3-story home with an elevator, and it's like in a complex with 2 swimming pools, a gym, 12 tennis courts. It was a really nice place. And when we left America, we sold it for $250,000. Right now in Vancouver or in Canada, I suppose anywhere in Canada, that house would be a $2 million home. Yeah, in West Vancouver, it will probably be a $4 million home. So that is kind of weird. All right, so now we're hopping back on Marine Drive and we are going back down towards Park Royale. Very outdoorsy place, West Vancouver. It really is a very outdoorsy place. You know, people enjoy nature. So I guess it helps if you do, because, you know, there's a lot of it. Park and ride under the bridge, Lions Club pay parking. Once again, we've got the golf course on our right over here. Coming up on the new fire station. Check out the old fire truck they have in there. Nice. And it's nice and clean, I must say. That's one of the things. Oh, here's a skate park. And then we've got the community center up front there. And of course the golf course all the way on the right. Anyway, what I wanted to say, one thing about Canada, well, Vancouver, West Vancouver, the North Shore in general, is that it's being kept nice and clean. People look after it. Look, you're always going to have dumbasses that let things drop or, you know, spill or not clean up. But generally, it's nice and neat and clean. People look after it. People enjoy it and they look after it. Wow. Lots of election boards up, which at this stage I'm not going to comment on because I'm not a citizen yet, so I cannot vote in this election. So I'll just shut up. There's 30k an hour speed limits over here. So we're going to stick to that. There's somebody behind us that's in a bit of a rush apparently, but he's just going to have to hang in there, I guess. Heading up to the ocean side. The buses over here are really cool, I must say. You know, you've always, oh, look at that driveway, man. The buses over here are really cool. You've got lots of public transport that gets you where you need to get, which is excellent. What has that guy got? Like a little food trailer or something. Now look at the view going around the corner here. Look at that oceanside homes up there. That's like literally on a little island. Hope you saw it. Are we coming down on this yacht club again? Eagle Island or Eagle Creek Marina. Wow, lots of boats. It's one thing about West Vancouver are the views. I mean, some of these homes have got the most amazing views because West Vancouver is south facing the mountain. So you get the sunshine, the morning sun, the afternoon sun. It's just stunning, absolutely stunning. And there's some old houses like these on the left, and then you get these fancy new mansions that was built recently. It's a very different mix, and also very different styles across. And this guy's got his Airstream parked on the side of the road here. Another for sale sign. I think I'm just going to pull off in front here and let some of these people that are in such a hurry pass. I should have gone in there. Anyway, now we're heading further. up the slow road. Oh, look at that driveway into the trees over there. That is stunning. So Eagle Island, that's on the right over there. And all of these streams have got trout and salmon. So let me just get these guys past, because apparently he needs to be somewhere urgently. There we go. Of course, one of the things that you often see in the places that are not very well maintained and cured. Oh, look at all these hedges. Check out this guy's hedge. Anyway, a lot of the gardens or the places like up front here, you'll see a lot of brambles. Those things are just taking over. They, you know, it's brambles. It's like the thorny, stringy things. And then you've got some of these houses like the one on the right here, which is in West Vancouver, beautiful place surrounded by forest with absolutely zero views. There's the bust coming down. Let's just get the cyclist a bit of a break. I mean, you can feel it. We're in the forest. And you just feel cool when you're close to nature. You're driving around. Oh, and there's this big park here. It looks like a baseball, what do they call it? Square, or it's a baseball field. Eagles, what is it? I don't know. Don't see any names here. Probably just another community area. More Canadian flags. I mean, it must be relaxing living in one of these little houses. Well, not little. They are definitely not little. The houses in West Van are huge. You know, if everybody makes this channel blow up, maybe I can afford one day. Anyway, yeah, I don't know that that's going to happen. But I'm glad you guys are here with me just to share West Vancouver. We're going to go for a bunch of drives on the North Shore because there's such amazing places on the North Shore. This is just one of the style of videos that we're going to have on the channel. So hey, jump on and subscribe. If you're still watching by this time, it means you're probably enjoying it. So hop on and subscribe and hit that bell button so that when I upload a new video, you get notified. And let me know if you want me to do anything else. Put in the comments if you think I should make any changes to the videos or the style. This is just one of the styles of videos I'm going to make. Oh, they're building another big place here, it looks like. Just one of the styles of videos that I'm going to make is these driving videos. And I do that because I love driving around and I actually love exploring these areas and seeing what it looks like, because that's one thing I can tell you about the North Shore. You know, there's all the main areas and everything, and then you've got all of these little, like, I don't know how to describe it, these little pockets or niches that are so cool. I mean, we've been here for 4 years and I still discover new places that I'm like, what? How? It is so cool. Just wish I could actually live and experience them all, which is one of the reasons I started this channel, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to go visit a lot of these parks and visit a lot of these places, you know, just to, hey, show them off for you guys, but it also forces me to get out so that I can go see it. So we'll take some more detailed drives, what should we call it? Cyclists. You got to be committed to cycle in West Van because lots of mountains, I tell you that much. Crossway Marine, House Sound Road. Yeah, there's some really seriously amazing houses. Lighthouse Park, oh wow. That is such a cool place, I must say. But that's not our mission for today. Our mission for today is Marine Drive. My kids would call that a kidnap van. Anyway. Yeah, and what's the West Vancouver community like? I mean, there's a lot of Asians, there's a lot of Persians, there's a lot of Canadians. It's kind of a very decent mix. But there is a lot of Persians in West Vancouver and on the North Shore. I mean, there's dedicated Persian shops, there's a dedicated South African shop in North Vancouver. So yeah, very good culture mix, I guess, around. And like I said, you can see all of the Canadian flags. Lots of patriotism. People are like, Canada first, which is a good thing. All right, we're heading out of the west of West Vancouver, coming up to Dundarave Village very soon. The whole ocean side over here, you've got Lighthouse Point, Lighthouse Park, and then it's parks all the way down. Now look at some of these homes up front here. Isn't it beautiful? And then you've got like the funky, angular one and the more like farmy one. Stunning. Love the colors of spring in Vancouver. It's just, not that spring is here 100% yet. I think we're in our first fake spring or fake start spring. It's one thing about this place. It's like the spring takes a while. It just looks like it's spring, and then it's cold, and then it's warm, and then it's cold, and then it's warm. Ish, look at this person. But it's all part of the experience, right? It's all part of living in West Vancouver, or living in Canada for that matter. Something you will see if you come to Canada and you walk around is Iseta Cafe and Bistro. This is a really interesting place on the right here. There's like an old car museum, and I think it's just some dude that owns a bunch of old cars, and he's got this place and he's just showing them off there. Because it's like these beautiful old cars standing in the garage or in the place there. But I think they only open like twice a week for 2 hours or something like that. So it's not a money spinning business. It's just some guy that enjoys these old cars. And then this up here is a council place, I think. What's this? Pacific Science Enterprise Centre. Pacific Canada, yes, so it's a government spot. Pacific Science Enterprise Centre. I don't actually know what they do. If you know, let me know in the comments. It's it'll be interesting to know. They've got some prime real estate here for a bunch of freaking tents. Oh, look at some of these houses. These are the fancy modern things. I've got a feeling we're going to see a lot more of this coming up soon, because one of the problems that I believe is happening in the Canadian real estate market is that the pendulum has swung back. Prices are coming down a little bit, although not much on the single family homes. But there's also not a lot of new homes starting, and that might, in the next 3 to 4 years, create a big shortage again. So there's all these little parks. On the right down here, there's a little ocean beach park. It's like literally 2 stands wide. And you can go down there. It's got bathrooms that are looked after by the council. It's just like, or what they call it in Canada, a washroom. It's like from South Africa, we arrive here, we go, hey, where's the bathroom? Where's the toilet? And they're like, what? It's a washroom. So yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, so yeah, I think that there's going to be a shortage of homes again in the next 3 to 4 years. And I believe that a lot of West Van, I mean, it makes sense. If you've got some of these homes, like got stunning views, to break down and build 4 or 5 condos on it, it's gonna happen. Geez, can you imagine this guy here? He's got like the only house here on the side, on the ocean, overlooking everything. There's Lionsgate Bridge there, front right. I'm building up a bit of a backlash of cars behind me, so let me just pass the cyclists. About 7 or 8 cars behind me. Yeah, I mean, look at these oceanfront homes. Let's hope for them global warming doesn't let the ocean rise too much. So, you know, there's also an interesting mix of people that live in West Vancouver. So there's a lot. West Vancouver has got a very high older population. You know, people that's been living here for yonks. I'm just going to pull over, let everybody pass. So yeah, there's been a lot of people that's been living in West Vancouver for a very long time. So you'll often find that there's these estate giveaways. You know, you have people that their parents or they've lived in West Vancouver for 30, 40 years and they're passing away. They've got kids. Their kids are not in West Vancouver. They're somewhere else in the world or in Canada. And they have to come up here and come and sort out their parents' estate. And they just put an ad in the newspaper and go, or on Facebook, and say, hey, it's clean out. Anybody want anything, you just rock up and come take the stuff. Although I believe that lately, because I think it's a generation that's starting to, you know, pass away. So a lot of the old homes, there is a big contingent of young families moving into West Vancouver again. Although at the property prices, it's very, very difficult. Look at that, a little bookshelf and little dollies. Okay, so we are almost back in Dundarave Village now. This is the train bridge. There's a school up on the left over there. Some of these places are really old and dilapidated. Well, I suppose I can't say much. The house that we're living in at the moment is also probably fall in that, also falls in that classification. It's just an old place. The guy bought it and he wanted to demolish and rebuild a new place there. I think he's probably going to end up building like 2 or 3 units because the land lends itself very well to that, and it's what's called a view home. It's against the hill with what could be a really nice view, but which isn't because they haven't trimmed the trees for a while, well, for many years, so all we see is trees. Presbyterian Church. Oh, one other thing that's very interesting about West Vancouver is the amount of films that get shot here. There is an enormous amount of movies that get shot here in these fancy homes, waterfront homes. And that church reminded me because there was a while when we were driving this road where they had like a whole film crew there. They were doing some movie out there. Don't know what it was called or what it was for. There's a lot of filming happening in West Vancouver. because it just lends itself to it. You know, you've got all these super fancy homes, you've got the beautiful views, you've got the waterfront, the mountains, the chill. It's cool. Up another house being demolished and rebuilt. All right, coming up on Dundarave Village. It was our main place for quite a while. We used to hang out in Dundarave Village, do our shopping at the IGA, before I discovered how much more expensive they are. IGA. Not cool, man. Been a few businesses that shut down over here, I must say. There's the Red Lion pub on the left there. That used to be a cool place to go and have a beer. Very kind of village pub style, you know, it's like fire going and, was it a fake fire? Anyway, fake fire going, leather furniture, and you know, you just sit there and chill and have your beer in this English style pub, Red Lion. It's a cool one. There's not a lot of development of condos or apartment buildings here in the lower end of West Van. Up on the mountain in British Properties, they're developing lots of new apartment buildings and towers and stuff like that. But down here, I think these old ones have been here forever, and I suppose it's also all part of that whole NIMBYism. You know, want somebody to come and build a fancy apartment building or high tower in front of the view of all the people up the mountain with the expensive houses. Zen Sushi, they do good sushi. We've eaten there before. And up here is our favorite tire place. We used to always come and do our tires at the shop on the right here. One other thing you see a lot of in West Vancouver is interesting cars. I'm just looking at this G-Wagon 550. Looks like an older one, the boxy type. I don't know the G-Wagons. But you get some really interesting classic cars and some really interesting cars out here in West Vancouver. OK Tire. We used to bring our stuff to OK Tire. Yeah, so you get some really cool cars out here in Vancouver. You know, everything from Lambos to really old classics. And then they drive, you know, they're being driven. There's this one guy that we find there on the beach. Oftentimes he drives these little Model T Ford, and that's still his car that he goes for a cruise around the beach area with. Well, obviously he pulls a lot of attention, but I suppose that's it. Older chap. Had the car for many, many, many years. All right, and as you can see now, we're going into the more busier side of West Vancouver again. We've got the Memorial Park on the left. Wow. And that's the thing about Canada. You must also just, you know, be chill, because people do this. They just pull over in the middle of the road and they stop and get out and do their thing. We've got the library on the right here, so at least they're readers. There we go. And back into Ambleside. Dental. Lots of dental places. And lots of gold. Hollyburn. Is this Hollyburn? Hollyburn, yeah. Ambleside. Fresh Street Market up on the right here. Like a Porsche 718 Roads Boxster. Like I said, you see some fancy cars and fancy people around. Let's get out of this side as well. All right. So this is not one of those, one of the things you see often in Vancouver and even over here in Marine Drive is the little, like, you're not allowed to turn left during certain times of the day because, you know, you just disrupt traffic like this. They don't have turning signals on the light, so if you stand and wait for the light, you just disrupt traffic, so they don't let you turn left. This is not one of them, though. You got the thrift store. Lots of different foods. Lots of Japanese food, lots of Chinese food, Persian. Yeah. Interesting mix. And of course you've got the murals, like you've got the mural at the front here. There are quite a few of them also throughout this area. I mean, look at that, how cool is it with the little glass, the window sitting in the binoculars glasses. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is Ambleside. I'm going to turn off of Marine Drive up front there, and I hope you enjoyed the little trip with me. We're going to do more of it. Let me know what you think. Give me a shout out in the comments below and share it with your friends. This is what it is like living on the North Shore. All right, cheers.